who's done paraphrasing before? You've done paraphrasing? Anyone else?
Is that when you're just changing somebody else's, putting somebody else's words in your own words?
Yes, right. Paraphrasing. So knowing how to paraphrase properly. And it's a bit of a skill, and normally once you try it once, you realise, oh, it's not quite as easy as it sounds. So during this presentation, we're going to look at some of the do's and don'ts of paraphrasing, because some people think they're paraphrasing when they're not, and they actually get done for plagiarism. Yep. And the other thing we're going to look at, okay, what are some good techniques so you can paraphrase when you get really stuck with putting it in your own words? Because sometimes the author words it so perfectly that you don't know how to then take it and put it in your own words. Yeah. Okay, so let's start. Okay. So paraphrasing, what does it involve? Okay, so it's rewriting someone else's ideas in your own words. If you guys want, we can email these slides to you to save you writing them down, but if you prefer to write them, you can.
What did you say? You could send them to us?
Yeah, just let us know because we've got your email addresses.
Excellent.
Yeah. Okay, it's rearranging the original sentence and using your own sentence structure. So quite often people will just change the words and they'll forget about the sentence structure. So you actually have to put it in a sentence structure that's your own. So you can't just keep their sentence structure and change a few words here and there. So that's the most common mistake. You've got to keep the meaning of the original message and use quotation marks for any borrowed wording. So if it is perfectly what you want to say, then just quote it rather than try and put it in your own words. But the problem with that is you can't quote too much when you're doing an assignment, so be really particular with what you quote. Make sure it's reinforcing your message. Yeah. Cool, and then the final thing is letting the reader know the source of the original information, so that in-text paraphrasing like Sandra's talked about. Okay. So what does it look like? So here's a saying here. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. Okay, so this is what paraphrasing looks like. So if I was going to paraphrase this is what it would look like. So here we've got the in-text referencing. Einstein, 1951, says that intelligence resides in everyone. However, a fish will always believe it is stupid if you are judging it for its tree climbing ability. So you can see here we've not only changed keywords, but we've changed the sentence structure. Okay, so here's a bit of a challenge for you. I've got some paraphrasing no-nos. See if you can see what these people have done wrong, okay? Okay, so here's your incorrect paraphrase. Einstein says that intelligence resides in everyone. However, a fish who can be taught to climb trees is really intelligent. What have they done wrong? What's that?
Like change the overall meaning.
Yeah, they've changed the meaning. Okay, so number one, can't do that. So make sure you really understand what you're paraphrasing. If you don't understand it, don't paraphrase it because you could end up changing the meaning without knowing. Okay, here's another one. All people are intelligent, but if you assess a fish on its skills to get up a tree, it will exist for a lifetime thinking it is unwise.
They've referenced the wrong spot.
So this one's actually a correct reference because they've just gone the end of the paragraph for this one. They haven't talked about Einstein in the paragraph.
Right.
So when you don't talk about him, and you just do it at the end here.
Sentence structures.
Yes, perfect. The sentence structure is exactly the same. They've just looked up a few keywords in a thesaurus and changed the keywords. But the sentence structure is still borrowed. Okay, so this is incorrect. So that's the thing that people like to do a lot. And you can see it looks like you've paraphrased it, but you've actually not paraphrased it properly. Okay. So here's some guidelines. Yeah, so like I was saying before, make sure you understand what you're paraphrasing. It's really hard to paraphrase stuff you don't understand. Quite often that's where we see people, is when they don't understand what they're paraphrasing. But yeah, do make sure you get someone someone to explain it to you in English, like if it's one of those real, those articles where you're like, what the heck does that mean? Yeah. And be selective. Choose and summarise the ones that really help you make a point. Yeah. So now we're just going to go over two strategies to help you paraphrase a little bit easier that will hopefully help you along the way. So this is a good strategy for paraphrasing your 4 W's and an H. Because if you want to paraphrase, say, a paragraph like this, who's heard of the 4 W's and an H? So they're like your who, what, where, when, and how. Yeah. And so by looking at an article and going who, what, where, when, and how, you're actually just taking your key points. And now you're not in the same order as this paragraph, so your temptation to write it like this has gone. So I'll just show you what that looks like. Okay, so we can identify what. Okay, this is about the Dry July campaign. Who? It's a fundraising program. Why? To support hospitals. Where is it? And how. So I can answer these questions however I like whatever makes sense to me. But the important thing is, I can now put away this and write my paraphrase based on this. And then I don't have the temptation to use these words or the sentence structure. So this is quite a good technique for paraphrasing. Because I have a real trouble with mimicking things, so when I can see how they've written it in front of me, I really just want to write it like that. So if you have that problem, this is a great technique. The other strategy is a bit simpler, because sometimes you'll be paraphrasing like one sentence and you just want a real simple strategy. You don't want something complicated like that. So if you feel like you're short of paraphrasing things, what you can do is just take down the main points for what you're paraphrasing. When you're taking down your main points, try to use your own language, not the language in the article you're paraphrasing. Then use your thesaurus, or on your computer your little synonyms bar to come up with alternative words for things. And then just put your original passage away so you can't see it, and rewrite it using your own words and sentence layout. Okay, so this works really well, but when you do it, you've just got to make sure your main points are brief and in your own words, and and that there's a more simpler method when you don't want to get into too many details. Okay, and then if any of you've done paraphrasing, you know that when you're trying to paraphrase off your own notes, that sometimes you lose the meaning a little bit, and you have to go back and check to make sure you've actually kept the meaning. And then include your citation at the end. So make sure you make a note of where you've got it from. Keep a note of your websites or your books. Cool. So does anyone have any questions about paraphrasing? Anything that they've come up against yet that they've really struggled with? Cool. Awesome. Well, that's all I'm going to cover today. But if you do paraphrasing and you're really struggling with that first session, then feel free to come and see me and Sandra, and we're happy to help you with it. Thanks, guys.